What's up, everybody? This is going to be a 5-minute or less video about a very large topic. I'm not going to be able to get to everything. Koshas. Koshas is a philosophical approach that was developed in the Vedic tradition, so long ago in the Indian culture, before biblical times. This philosophy was a philosophy that was aimed at understanding who a person is. So, what is a human? What are the things about being a human that we are aware of? So, another way you could think of this is very old, 1,000 years ago approach to psychology. Right now, on the outermost layer, the first term that I'm going to introduce to you with reference to koshas, to these layers, to these sheaths, is Anna Maya. A-N-N-A Maya. M-A-Y-A. Now this Anna Maya layer, Anna Maya sheath, is also known as the food sheath, right? Any part of us with which food can directly interact with, right? So our bones, our muscles, our tissues, our skin. The approach to the outermost layer, the easiest perceivable part of ourself, begins with the skin, right? Now the koshas are a way of evaluating who we are, becoming aware of who we are from the skin to the soul, right? The next layer is the pranamaya layer, right? So now we're gonna get into a part of ourselves that isn't material, right? Some people will stop right there. Some people are materialists, right? Which means that if it's not something that they can touch, if it's not something that they can alter, if it's not in this physical plane, then it's not real, right? For those people, you can stop right here because every layer beyond this begins to become more subtle. If, however, you do recognize that you have a life force in you that is developed by air, right? It's something that you can't exactly take a hold of by yourself, then you might have some hope, right? Now this pranamaya layer, prana, P-R-A-N-A, refers to famously a life force. Pranayama is a way of expanding one's life force, beginning to work with, to have more command over a life force, right? That life force being our breath in particular. Pranayama is a very important part of yoga, and the connection between our breath and our feeling of self, our ability to be aware of what our mental fluctuations are, is important and critical, right? So in becoming increasingly aware of who we are begins with understanding who we are in this physical sheath. The next thing, we move from this material part of ourselves into this immaterial part of ourselves with developing an awareness of our breath. The thing that comes after that, body, breath, mind. The manomaya layer, this mind field to who we are as a part of this beautiful human experience. This layer is the layer that bridges the understanding of self between who we are as an individual in this micro sense and who we are in this macro sense, in this capital S sense, we'll call it, right? Now this mind field is everything that you think it is, right? It's a part of your intellect, it's a part of your ability to think, it's this conscious part of you, right, which tries to make sense of the world. It's the narrator behind all the thoughts, right? The two layers that are a little bit deeper to that, and perhaps actually closer to who we are in the macro sense, in the biggest sense possible, I'm leaving that for next time. All right, thank you for joining me for the last 5 minutes for the first 3 koshas, Anamaya, Pranamaya, and Manomaya. Cheers.